Good evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Here is tonight's news bulletin. First, the headlines. The chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya praised the Sultanate's role in enhancing tolerance values. 100 work papers are discussed in the 20th National Conference on ENT in Muscat. The Sultanate reviews its cultural heritage in the European Parliamentary Building in Brussels. Good evening to all of our viewers, wherever you are. This is 7 o'clock news bulletin, and now the details. His Majesty Sultan Al-Qaboos has sent a couple of greetings to His Excellency President João Manuel Lourenço of Angola on the occasion of his country's National Day. His Excellency Faiz Mustafa Sarraj, chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya, left this evening after a 3-day visit to the Sultanate. The guest and his accompanying delegation were bid farewell by Their Excellencies Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, Sheikh Al-Fadl bin Mohammed Al-Harthi, Secretary General of the Council of Ministers, Sheikh Saad bin Mohammed Al-Mardouf Al-Saadi, Minister of Sports Affairs, Ahmed bin Nasser Al-Maharzi, Minister of Tourism, and Dr. Abdul Mun'im bin Mansour Al-Hassani, Minister of Information. His Excellency, the Chairman of the Presidential Council of Libya delegation comprised Their Excellencies, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Political Advisor of the Chairman, the Media Advisor of the Chairman, the Special Secretary of the Chairman, and a number of other Libyan officials. A joint statement was issued on the occasion of the visit of His Excellency the Chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya to the Sultanate. The statement is as follows. Embodying the brotherly relations between the Sultanate of Oman and Libya, His Excellency Faiz Mustafa Sarraj, Chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya, paid an official visit to the Sultanate from the 8th to 10th of November 2017, where he was accompanied by a number of senior Libyan officials. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, and His Excellency Faiz Mustafa Sarraj, Chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya, held an official session of talks during which they exchanged points of views on various aspects of cooperation between both countries. They also discussed the regional and international issues of common concern. His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers stressed on the Sultanate's keenness towards the stability and unity of Libya, as the two sides agreed to enhance economic and commercial cooperation as well as to activate the signed agreements. The bodies concerned in both countries were directed to hold meetings to reach the hoped aspirations. The two sides also reviewed the efforts exerted to reach a political solution to the situation in Libya through dialogue among the parties in Libya so as to achieve peace and security. In this regard, the Sultanate stressed on its support for the efforts exerted by the United Nations envoy to Libya. On his turn, His Excellency the Chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya hailed the wise leadership of His Majesty the Sultan and expressed his gratitude for the Omani government for its continued support and efforts to host the meetings of the committee concerned with preparing the Libyan constitution, hoping the relations between the two countries further development and progress. His Excellency the Chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya praised the Sultanate's efforts in religious tolerance and understanding, as well as the Omani experience in the region, in addition to the Sultanate's role in coexistence. This came when he was received by His Eminence Sheikh Ahmed bin Hamad Al Khalili, Grand Mufti of the Sultanate. During the meeting, they discussed a number of issues that concern the Islamic communities while emphasizing on the significance of dialogue and avoiding all forms of hatred. His Eminence, the Grand Mufti of the Sultanate, called on all the Libyan parties on the necessity to dispute and eliminating disputes through dialogue so as to build the Libyan state on peace and security. 100 work papers were discussed in the 20th National Conference for ENT in surgery in the Governorate of Muscat. The conference witnessed the participation of more than 50 specialists from different health institutions and medical institutes from inside and outside the Sultanate. It also discussed a number of scientific and research papers that will contribute to enable the attendees to get acquainted with the developments in these fields, namely disorders relating to the ear and the future of the deaf people, particularly with the development of methods of early diagnosis and treatment, besides other topics which formed an important scientific subjects for researchers. With the aim to highlight the cultural field in the Sultanate, the Omani Cultural Exhibition was launched in the European Parliamentary Building in the Belgian capital, Brussels. The exhibition, which organized by the Sultanate's Embassy in Belgium and the Omani European Parliamentary Friendship Group, included a number of activities to present the Omani heritage and highlight the Sultanate as an international destination enjoys unique historical and heritage elements. On the sidelines of the exhibition, the parliamentary relations between Oman Council and the European Parliamentary were discussed. His Excellency Dr. Khalid bin Salim Al Saidi, the Secretary General of Oman Council, presided over the opening ceremony of the exhibition. 23 new international commercial brands will enter the Sultanate after the completion of Mall of Masqat project in South Ma'bela in the Wilaya of Sib. As part of the first phase of the project, the implementing company signed financing and infrastructure agreements with a number of private sector's bodies in the fields of entertainment, communications, marketing, branding and banking services. The project, which is expected to be finished by the third quarter of next year, will provide educational, touristic and heritage services. The project will contain in its first stage various shops, restaurants and recreational areas with the aim to strengthen the tourism and service sectors, which will create job opportunities for citizens. Oman oil price today reached $62 per barrel, according to Dubai Mercantile Exchange. Oman oil price rose by 40 cents compared to the yesterday's price. The average price of Oman oil November delivery reached $54.02 per barrel, thus $3.63 higher than price of October delivery. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. Residents in New Delhi fear for their health amid polluting smog. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The political crisis involving Iraq and its Kurdish region is delivering another blow to the troubled Kurdish economy. Trade has dropped dramatically in Erbil's malls as shoppers from Iraq, previously the mainstay of commerce in the region, are now staying away. Traders estimate the loss of about two-thirds after the Kurdish referendum on independence in September, which triggered the crisis. Many shops are trying to compensate by introducing sales. Locals worry that there could be another pause in the payment of public salaries because the Kurdish region lost about half of its oil income following the takeover of major oil fields in Kirkuk and Zumar by Iraqi forces last month. Another issue is an order made 2 days ago by Iraq's central bank. It threatened to lock banks out of the dollar trade if they don't curtail their operations in the Kurdish region. Drone footage of Western Mosul hospital district shows the extent of the destruction that the city suffered during the 9 months it was under siege from the Daesh group. Iraqi forces pushed the militants out of the city after a grueling battle that ended in July. Thousands of civilians are estimated to have been killed and entire neighborhoods turned into wastelands of rubble during the campaign that saw the extensive use of artillery, air power, car bombs and booby traps. Little reconstruction has occurred so far, partly because there is a continuing, if low-level insurgents activity in some areas of West Mosul. The presidents of France and Germany today reaffirmed their country's commitment to Europe as they met in Paris to mark 99 years since their armistice ending First World War. French President Emmanuel Macron said that it was necessary and urgent to reinforce the European Union and that the coming year will be crucial to these efforts. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier said both countries were aware of their duty to live up to the hopes and expectations people have in Europe. Later, both leaders inaugurated a museum on the rocky peak overlooking the Rhine Valley, where about 25,000 French and German soldiers were killed during the First World War. Thick smog has silently constricted India's capital this week, smuggling landmarks from view and causing pile-ups on the roads. New Delhi is one of the world's most polluted cities, caused by dust, the burning of crops, emissions from factories, and the burning of coal and piles of rubbish as the poor try to keep warm. This week, the air was the worst it has been all year in the capital, with microscopic particles that can affect breathing and health, at times spiking to 75 times the background level considered safe by the World Health Organization. People are trying everything from trying scarves over their faces to eating jaggery, a sugarcane product reputed to have health benefits. Volunteers handed out thousands of green surgical masks this week to make a point about the pollution, but such masks likely have a limited impact on keeping out the tiny particles from people's lungs.
Thank you. जरूर इसको लगा के रखिएगा सर प्रदूषण में.
And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the governorate of Musandam with chances of scattered rainfall. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorate of South Sharqiya, Al-Wusta and Dhafar. Winds will be northerly to northeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and now, before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The chairman of the Presidential Council of the Government of National Accord in Libya praises the Sultanate's role in enhancing tolerance values. 100 work papers are discussed in the 20th National Conference on ENT in Muscat. And the Sultanate reviews its cultural heritage in the European Parliamentary Building in Brussels. And with that, we do conclude tonight's news bulletin. Thank you for watching, and from the entire news team and myself, Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening and good night.